Where are we?
Hello, Colorado.
We're your guide to moving, living, and thriving in Colorado.
That's right. So whether you're moving here to relocate for work or for family, or you just need a change of scenery, we are your experts guiding you to relocating to the Centennial State.
I'm Susan Corrier, and this is Jason, and we are natives, so we live and breathe Colorado.
Right. And today we're going to talk about Castle Rock, where Castle Rock's nestled between Denver and Colorado Springs. So those are kind of the two big metroplexes, and then you have the little cities surrounding them. And Castle Rock is kind of cool. It's a little dear to my heart because I sort of grew up there. My parents were divorced, but my dad had a house there in Oak Hills, which is a pretty cool neighborhood.
Yeah, so now Oak Hills, they're tearing down the houses and they're rebuilding.
Yeah, Surrey Ridge is another development kind of right there. These homes were built in the 80s, and they're effectively scraping them for the lot value, and then they're rebuilding, some pretty nice homes. So pretty cool.
Yeah, so Castle Rock's actually booming right now. It's actually the second fastest growing town in Colorado. And in 2022, they had over close to 6,500 people move in.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, the median sales price is $630,000. There's a lot of areas there. There's Terrain, Crystal Valley. There's Montaigne. Yeah,
there's so many new communities,
and older communities too. The Meadows. The Meadows is a huge community, and there's outlet stores and malls and everything you kind of want. But Castle Rock is it's cool because it's kind of a quaint town.
Yes.
Too. It's actually named after a butte. And as you kind of drive down I-25 corridor there, you'll see that butte off to the east side. And there's a little park there that you can climb up, and they do a star lighting over Christmas every year. And that street that's kind of near it is called Wilcox. And so they've redone a lot of the area. So there a lot of the retail there was in older buildings. We're dating to the 1800s.
1874.
Right, when these buildings were made. In fact, you had a little business there.
I've had a couple of businesses there. I had a wine store down in Castle Pines, and it's still there. I actually sold that to one of my customers, and they still own it. So they are doing great.
What's it
in
called?
The village. It was Vinos del Mundo.
Yeah, and now it's Village Wines.
Yes.
Right.
And I also owned a tea shop.
Yeah.
There in downtown Castle Rock.
What was that called?
Miss M's Tea Shop.
And it's still there too.
Yeah.
So both businesses were successful, and you sold them. And Castle Rock during this entire time. Well, it's interesting. It's kind of funny to think about because when you had Vinos del Mundo, you were the second store in there. Like Tony's Meats was in there in Castle Pines.
Yes.
Another area.
It was a brand new development when I first had my wine store there, and I was there before Tony's Meats. And Tony's Meats,
it's a gourmet meat market and grocery store.
And it's been here for years. And he had one store down in Centennial, Colorado, and then he moved out to Castle Pines Village, and so that's when I had the opportunity to meet Tony.
And it was a great compliment to have this, boutique wine store next door to a really gourmet kind of meat store. And so, but it was interesting in that you were literally like the first building there.
Wow, I took a big chance, and it's still there, so it's really cool.
Yeah.
But so Castle Rock's really, really amazing to people that love the outdoors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The outdoor enthusiasts, right. Because they still have 50 miles of trails.
Yep.
And 19 parks.
Yeah, Philip S. Miller Park is one, and then you have the Rock Park at the top of the butte that I mentioned, or you can hike up to that. And that's the one thing that Douglas County is really good with in the town of Castle Rock is making sure that they, with all these developments like Montaigne and even Terrain, they really make sure to keep a lot of open space for the residents to be able to hike and bike, and because Colorado is all about outdoors. People love it here, and that's why they move here. We have a lot of people moving from California,
Texas,
right? Florida.
Yep.
And so, it's interesting because whenever you talk to any of them, the climate here is pretty temperate compared to those areas where, it can be really hot in the summertime or muggy or, here.
Colorado's bipolar.
It is. We've talked about that in some of our other podcasts,
Right,
just kind of like what you need to be aware of when you're moving here. But Castle Rock's a really cool place because it has the old charm and then it has the new. So there's a ton of new development there.
Yes, there is.
And a ton of new restaurants.
Fantastic restaurants. Union Bistro is one of my favorites.
Yeah, that's a good spot.
Scalepi's is great for pizza.
Union Bistro, I don't know if they still do it, the lamb shank. That was a pretty good dish there. I mean, that's a good spot. Brunelli's Pizzeria is right down there.
Oh yeah,
that's good pizza down there, and then there's quite a few apartments there too that are also, so if you're looking
downtown.
Yeah, right. If you're looking to just move, you don't know where you want to live at, there's a place where you could live too.
Before you buy a house.
That's right. And also the schools, Douglas County schools. Douglas County schools are really good.
Top-rated schools.
Yep, Rock Canyon High School is a very highly rated school, and then also Castle View.
Yep.
Castle
and
View High School.
Douglas County High School, which is really big.
Yeah, Douglas County High School. What areas are there? Well, there's Crystal Valley, right? Toll Brothers is building in there. And then you have Montaigne. We talked about that. Toll Brothers is building in Montaigne also. And then Pradera. Pradera is another.
Is that considered Castle Rock? Or
well, it's right on the kind of the right on the county line. I mean, not the county line. It's right on the between the city of Parker and the town of Parker and the town of Castle Rock on 83, heading south. So, but Pradera is, there's a lot of really nice homes there. And then you also have Cobblestone Ranch, which is Castle Rock, which is just south of Pradera, actually. Right.
Yeah, and I happen to have a midterm rental there, which is a temporary, fully furnished home.
You have Crystal Valley, right, which is another neighborhood. And then, like we mentioned, the Meadows earlier, which is kind of on the east side. And further south, you have Bell Mountain. That's a really cool area with large acreage properties. And then they're building that overpass on the overside of I-25. Actually, I don't know if you know this, but it's going to be closed, I think, this weekend. They're actually putting the bridge in. And that's just south of Plum Creek. Plum Creek is another area, nice golf course down there. So yeah, and then you have Bear Dance also.
There's just so much to talk about, and I think they're each one of their own podcasts because there's just so much. Like Montaigne is fantastic. We were just there.
Yeah, we helped a client buy a property there, and they were really excited because we got a pretty good deal on it because Toll Brothers is building and they want to get inventory off their books. It's the beginning of the year right now, and so they have inventory homes. They want to move on to the next phase. So they built out Regency is actually it's a 55 plus community, and then there are some other, and that's, I think 55 plus accounts for about 60% of all of Montaigne, and then 40% is regular single family. So, and the concept was, could grandparents be close to their family and grandparents or grandkids and not live right next door or whatever that is.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how they developed
And
that.
it's a cool concept. The houses are really cute, ranch style homes, and the community center's great. I mean, that's something that I would like to.
There are two community centers in there, 2 pools. So yeah, it's a pretty cool community.
Yeah.
Coffee shops. There's tons of coffee shops. So Lost Coffee.
Crowfoot Coffee. The mayor
Crowfoot
actually
Coffee.
owns it. So it's a really nice place. They serve beer and wine.
Yep.
As well. Great place to network. And just a lot of cute little boutique shops. Dream Dinners is down there where they prepare your meal, but you actually get to cook it. So, you could take it home and you can cook it. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, we provide that to some of our tenants when they come to some of the midterm rentals, right? As a service that you provide to them, or at our place up in the mountains when we have guests come and we just stack the freezer with these dream dinners, and then they just have to heat them up after a long day of travel or something like that. It's really cool, and these are really good meals. And then Udelala coffee.
Say that again.
Udelala coffee.
Yeah, that was a really cute coffee shop.
Yeah, that was a fun spot too.
Yeah.
So I mean, we could kind of go on and on about golf and travel, family.
But bottom line, Castle Rock, there's a reason why it's the second fastest growing town in Colorado, and it's all of the above. It's the outdoor living. It's the trails. It's the
restaurants.
The
nightlife.
The downtown area is fantastic. So there's a lot of younger people moving into Castle Rock, I think.
Yeah.
And
people love it.
It's pretty affordable.
Yeah. Like I said, the median home price I think is $630. I think there's 590 homes on the market as of December of 24, so a month and a half ago. And that's obviously going to increase here with the spring market. We're a very seasonal real estate market here, but there's affordability and it's
easy access to and from like Denver, Colorado Springs, Monument.
Yeah, everything along that I-25 corridor is going to be kind of one thing. So it's funny, when I was growing up in Oak Hills, I mean, it was a lot of stretch of like no lights on the highway, and it seemed like you were driving way out of the city to get to Castle Rock was really far away from Denver. Now, I mean, everything is kind of right there from Ridgegate Parkway, which is south of DTC. You have 470 to get you to the mountains. So if you're looking at a map, you can hit, from Ridgegate didn't even exist. That's Main Street from Parker now to I-25. So Ridgegate south to Castle Rock, I mean, you got Castle Pines Parkway, and now it goes all the way through on Hess now to Parker. So everything is just going to be one large metroplex, like you said, from Monument, which is North Colorado Springs, all the way up to DTC or Denver Tech Center. DTCs, that's what that stands for. So it's all pretty close anymore. I mean, it's about half an hour, 45 minutes to get to Monument from Parker or Denver, and it's about 30 minutes to get to Castle Rock from Denver. So it's all very centrally located. So you could go get dinner. We go there. We leave. 30-minute drive. You go to Castle Rock. You grab some dinner. Plenty of places to do that. As easily as you could go to DTC or anything like that. Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about the third fastest growing town on our next podcast.
Erie.
So
right. That's crazy up there. In fact, I just put a property under contract a little bit north of there in Berthoud, but that whole area is kind of the same thing. I mean, if you've ever been to California, and you can imagine, we were in California last summer, and we went and visited her dad, and he's in the Riverside area, and then we drove down to San Diego from there. So through LA, we visited some friends, and then we drove down to San Diego. But I mean, when you're on the highway there, everything it's just developed. There is really nothing open all the way down.
And that's the prediction with I-25.
Yeah, I-25 is that. It's like the 405. It's like the same thing. It's going to happen where everything is going south or north out of Denver, which is the epicenter, but then you have Colorado Springs, which is like the southmost kind of big city, and then all the little cities in between, and they're all just filling in. And then conversely up north from Denver to Fort Collins or Longmont, so it's all just kind of filling in. And then there's some really cool pockets. So we'll talk about that next time too.
Yeah, so join us next week.
That's right. Yeah. So hello, Colorado. If you have any questions or you ever, want some added detail about some of the things that we're doing and how we can help you and some guidance when you're relocating here, or you want to talk to Susie about her midterm rentals, 30, 60, 90-day fully furnished rentals. If you want to rent something before you choose to buy something to get a lay of the land, then please reach out to us and we'd love to be a resource to you.
See you next week.
Bye.
Where are we?